Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is day 2 of your 7-day fast track, and my name is Kim Danke. I am your instructor, and I am so happy to be here with you today. And so tonight, what we're specifically going to go over is some beginning and real easy food combinations. Now, there were some things that I put in our groups today that I'm hoping help you. I put in my first 20 days of meals when I started back in April, and I put that in there, and I put in the post, though, not to count those as some perfect, fabulous, wonderful meal plan, because I was winging it until I figured it out. And if you actually went in there and counted how many Mighty Muffins I ate, it was more than 20, I think. But anyway, see, that's the kind of thing you might have to do. Wing it till you get it. Do all the parts and pieces that you can, and keep meals simple until you can do a little bit more. I'll always keep meals simple. I just am a simple person. So I put that in there today. And then I also created a meal plan from our meal plan generator, and I put that in the Fast Track and Second Chance group today. So just to give you an idea of what some meals can be. So if you literally wanted to go in there and print that out, you could have a perfect day tomorrow by following that meal plan. So I know that everybody's first question is, what am I gonna eat? Well, guess what? Always focus on everything that you can have, not what you can't have. And anything that's not specifically approved for a perfect day, you can have that on a holiday. So there's absolutely nothing you can't have on this program, and I like that a lot. But on a perfect day, you just want to do things right. On a holiday, do what you want to do and enjoy doing that. But I'm going to tell you the 3 things, before we get started on this, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that made a huge difference in my life when I learned this. Actually, 4. Number 1 is the structure of the program. I just appreciated somebody telling me you really shouldn't eat more than 3 meals a day, and then if you need something extra, you've got freebies, extras, and snacks. I appreciate that structure. It's something I can follow. It's doable. I'm not depriving myself. I'm getting plenty of food, and it's good food that I'm choosing to eat, so I appreciate that structure. I also appreciate the structure of the Shibboleth Shield, and knowing that there are certain things I should and shouldn't do. I'm going to tell you what, that Shibboleth Shield and that structure provides me freedom. You know, it's just like in the Bible where the Lord says that we're free in Him, but we still aren't going to go out and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But that right there is where you have these boundaries. See, what's happened is we have been given these boundaries. Well, now that I know these boundaries, I feel more free. And I just do. So I hope that you feel the same way and appreciate these boundaries. Having freedom to eat whatever food you want all the time, that's more toxic than reasonable. And so that's why these boundaries came into play for me in a really great way. So keep that in mind. The other thing that I learned was about insulin. So last night, if you've never heard it before, last night I explained to you at least 3 things about insulin. That it's a growth hormone, it's a fat storage hormone, and it increases your appetite and basically stops EFB for 2 days. 2 days, okay? So when you come off of a holiday, when you eventually have a holiday, after that day, if you are a little extra hungry, please know that you're truly not needing to eat. It's just that insulin increases appetite. So tell yourself, I'm not really hungry. It's that stinking insulin. I got to get rid of it, and then I'll be okay. And then the next day, you'll find you're not as hungry. And then that 3rd day, it's your 3rd perfect day after a holiday, you're back in EFB. You're not going to be as hungry. So just keep in mind that that's insulin there. So once I knew that insulin is called the fat bus and what to do not to bring it, that was so huge for me. And I just love knowing the science behind this and that I can truly follow it. And then learning about EFB, how to get into EFB and what it takes to stay in EFB. And if I get out of EFB, which is efficient fat burning, what it takes to get back into it. And it's just this ebb and flow of what we do in this lifestyle. And then learning about MCT oil and just knowing that MCT oil is something that burns up really quickly. I use it for a purpose. It burns up quickly, and I am not storing that as fat like I would a long chain triglyceride oil. So those were the things that just kind of made such a huge difference in my world. And of course, the combinations to not bring that insulin release. So here we're going to go. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to look at, and please tell me if you can see this. I need to know if you guys can see the screen that says Shibboleth New Member Fast Track Phase 1, Week 1. If y'all type in for me that you can see that, that would be awesome. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so good. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Belinda. Okay, so because one of your jobs in learning this lifestyle is to know that we have 7 categories of food. And then you just need to start figuring out where the foods line up in those categories and which ones you can put together. So that's why in one of the assignments that you're going to have this week, it's going to say, come up with 10 items that you like from the lean proteins and 10 items that you like from a fibrous carb. Because the more you familiarize yourself with what foods are in each category, the better off you're going to be and the quicker you're going to understand and learn the program. So I'm going to read over these because sometimes it does help to hear some things that are in these categories. So we're going to look at some lean proteins, category 1, and it does say 2 to 8 ounces. Now, really that 8 ounces goes up for a man. 6 is really all you want to have as a lady, but even if you get 8, you're not going to really bring yourself out of EFB. It's just another portion control thing. So let's read over these. We've got egg whites, fish, all fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, 1 link of those, 96% lean ground beef. Okay, so I want y'all to type in for me, do you see anything in that list that you like? So type in if you see some things in that list that you like, all right? Because I want to make sure that everybody likes some things. And if you happen to be vegan or vegetarian, you can find some lean, awesome. Good job, Melanie. Good job, Juliet. You can find some of those. Just go into the lean protein, everything but cottage cheese, yep. So go into the food library, go into category 1, and there's some filters above that. You can click vegan, you can click vegetarian, and you can find the lean proteins that work for you. It doesn't have to be all meat or anything like that. And if you are not necessarily vegan or vegetarian, but you lean more to that way, then just look that up and you figure out the ones that you like, because that's the thing about this program. You're combining foods that you like together. Now, if you'll remember last night, I said that there are some foods that you can eat by themselves, and that's a category 1, which is a lean protein, category 2, which is fibrous carb, category 4, which is a protein plus fat, category 6, which is a superfood, and category 7, which is shellfish. You can eat them by themselves. You just need to look up the appropriate amount and that kind of thing, and portion control it still. You don't want to eat 3s or 5s by themselves. So if you'll notice right here that what we've got is we've got a lean protein by itself, but we've added, and if you'll notice there is a plus sign with a flame behind it. There's a plus sign and a flame behind it because this is an excellent fat burning meal. So let's read over some of our approved cooking oils and fats. And 1 tablespoon is really your serving, but you might find that you don't even need a full tablespoon with certain things, especially if you're cooking egg whites. You're going to drown them if you use a tablespoon. So just a little bit, enough to cook them. So we've got MCT oil, coconut oil, which is 60% MCT oil, ghee butter, hemp oil, or PAM 0-calorie cooking spray. So you're going to cook that in an approved oil. And then you've got your little flame and your plus sign. You're just going to add some condiments to it. Now, Condiments are there just to give you that flavor. And you know what? We eat food for two reasons. One, because we need to live, and so we have to fuel our body. We're learning to fuel our body in the proper way with Shibboleth, but we also eat because it tastes good, and we like the way that it feels in our mouth, and we enjoy the flavor of it. But once that has moved out of our mouth, do we get any more enjoyment from that? No, it's gone. It's gone out of our mouth. That's why we continue eating sometimes, because we're getting this enjoyment. That's why I tell people, chew gum if you have to. If you really need something, chew some gum. If you're wanting something but you don't want to have any calories. But we've got our condiments here. And here's our rule about condiments. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. So absolutely anything that you pick up, even if it's not in the approved food library, can be used as a condiment if it follows these rules. It needs to have 5 grams of sugar or less, 2 grams of fat, and this is per serving, 2 grams of fat or less, and you're going to use less than 50 calories or less of a total amount of condiments on a meal. So you can have up to 50 calories of condiments, and it can be a combination of condiments. You can have up to 50 calories of condiments on every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you choose. So here's just a few that are listed here. Any 0-calorie condiment, the 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. And that's just a small little listing. We've got a much larger listing in the food library. So you pair that together, that could be a meal. So now we're going to scroll down, and I'm not going to read category 1 again. I'm not going to read the fats again, and I'm not going to read the condiments again, but we're going to point out what changes in each row. So if you'll notice right here, we have the addition of a category 2 fibrous carb, and you can use a half a cup up to a cup. Obviously, you still want to portion control it. See, some of these foods can really be categorized as a couple of things. These are category 2 fibrous carbs, but they can also be, if it's a veggie in the category 2 fibrous carb, can be considered a freebie, but that still doesn't mean that if you're using it as a component in your meal that you can just eat how much ever you want. You still portion control it, okay? And then if you needed to have some later for a freebie, you could. Your goal is to not do that, but that would be your best option after water and gum, but you can do those if you need to. So let's read some of these, and y'all can be ready to type. I want to see what you like out of this category. We got broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, and dill pickles. And obviously, again, that is just an extremely small list. So do y'all see some things you like in this list? All of it, good, good. Now, that's awesome. Does anybody not like even one thing on that list? Because it's not optimal to do a category 2 fibrous carb bread instead of like a veggie bread. But guess what? I don't really like all veggies, so sometimes I use the category 2 bread. I still lost weight doing it, but it's not optimal. Optimal is this, but you can do the other if you just have to. But let's look at this. Let's say we want to have some fish and some asparagus, or we're going to do some fish and squash. Cook it in the approved oil and use some condiments to just flavor it all up. And you actually have right here the fastest fat burning meal combination. Do y'all see some meal combos that you could make with one of the two from this list? And do you see how you literally could jump into doing this tomorrow just by combining one thing from that list, one thing from that list? Do y'all see how you could just jump in tomorrow doing that? This is not hard. You're just putting things from the list together and eating them. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to look down here, and we have the category 1 lean protein again. We've got all of our cooking oils listed again, and we've got our condiments listed again. Now we're just doing the addition of some hemp hearts hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes, hemp protein powder, and hemp oil. And honestly, I'm not an expert on hemp. I need to figure that out. But it's a great protein, and it also provides some fiber as well. So you are getting, by adding these two, this with your lean protein, cooking it in the approved oil and putting some condiments on there, you're having another extremely great fat burning meal. So you can just, so a lot of people will take maybe some shrimp and put some hemp flakes all over it. I hear of people putting their hemp flakes in their yogurt and all kinds of stuff. So you could put those together. Now, if you'll notice here, the only change that was made here from that one was the category 7 shellfish. And if you'll notice, it's 2 to 8 ounces. We're up here. Oh, it said 2 to 8 ounces. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So we have 2 to 8 ounces. So we've got crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams, and those are just a few. There's a lot more in the food library. So all we're doing here is actually that example, that last example I gave of putting some shrimp with some hemp flakes, cooking in the approved oil and flavoring it up. That would be a good fat burning meal. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit more. Look at this. We've got a category 4, protein plus fat. Do you know that that is an excellent protein, but it's just got a little bit more fat in it than our lean protein or our shellfish lean protein. And you'll notice that our ounces go from 2 to 8 ounces to 2 to 6 ounces because there are more calories in this due to the fat. And if you'll notice right here, do you have that? That's a plus. So you can add them together, but it's not quite as fat burning. Obviously, you're adding fat, so it's not quite as fat burning, but it won't throw you out of EFB. Okay, that's very important. It won't throw you out of EFB, and you can. It's still a perfect combination. So let's read over some of these. This is where your whole eggs are, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, meat that is in the range of 93% lean to 95.9% lean, and then turkey kielbasa as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. And that's the way you know if a meat will work in category 4. If you look at the calories from fat, if it's more than 50% calories from fat, it's not on the program. But if it's between 21 and 50 calories from fat, calories from fat, that would be a category 4. But if it's 20% or less than that, that's how it goes into the lean protein. So now right here, we're just saying we're going to add a fibrous carb to that. This is that perfect example of going to the steakhouse and instead of ordering a potato with your steak, order one of these things right here. I was at a restaurant today. I ordered a hamburger, and the waitress said, "Do you want tater tots, French fries, or sweet potato fries?" That's what she offered me. I said, "I'll have the broccoli." She wrote down broccoli. That was that. She didn't question me. I just said, "I'll have broccoli." And I had a perfectly combined meal at lunch. And so now we have the addition of the condiments. The condiments are there to give us flavor. Okay, so if you'll look right here, remember how I said you could eat a superfood by itself? This is just showing you could eat one by itself. Some examples that are listed here are pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds. So those are some things that are in your superfood category. And let's say I love black beans. So cook up some black beans, put in some seasoning in it, and just have some black beans. You can do that. I actually like eating mine with chicken. So I probably would combine this with chicken, and that is okay. You can do that. So let's scroll this down here and look. Now this is giving you the addition of a category 2 fibrous carb with your category 6 superfood. So you can just add those together and doctor it up with your condiments, and you have a perfectly portioned, not a perfectly combined meal. Now we've come back here, it gives us the flame back again, but if you'll notice, this is really the same as the very top one we looked at. The very top one we looked at had the lean protein, the cooking oil, and the condiment. This is just showing you that you can eat a shellfish meal by itself. So there you go, there's that same list from above. And then this is just showing you that you could do a category 7 and a category 2 together. Cook it in the approved fat and add some condiments. Now we're getting into something that is more like a lifestyle column. And the reason I call it that is because if you are wanting to lose weight and lose weight fast and get it off, I probably would leave out the category 3s right now, but it is approved and it's okay. So if you really like these things and you need them to eat them, then you can, but you just have to eat them in a certain way. I call it a must and an and. Because if you're going to eat a category 3, and that's the only thing that's changed right here in this one, this category 3, you're going to eat a category 3, and we call them energy carbs. You must eat it with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. So let's read over our list and familiarize ourselves with category 3 energy carbs. And this, again, is just a small list. We've got all potatoes, so it's listed out: white potato, sweet potato, oatmeal, your steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onion, carrots, whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta. Now on the pastas and things like that, I always look in the food library and make sure that it's an approved one. I don't trust myself to randomly just buy one. I just buy only if it's approved in the food library. But that's one of the things that I adopted right away was I don't buy anything that's not approved. I mean, usually when I'm having my holidays, it's because I'm at somebody else's house and they've made, like cornbread dressing, like for Thanksgiving, or I'm at a restaurant and I just want to do something, or I want to have an ice cream when I'm out with my family. That's when I do a holiday. But if it gets purchased now, I don't purchase anything that's not approved. Because that's one of the things of this program. You just start switching over the things that you buy regularly to an approved thing, and you will not have as many accidental holidays because you won't have that stuff in your house, okay? So what this is showing you here is if you want to eat a category 3, you can. You just must have it with a category 1 and a category 2. And obviously we have our condiments there. But you'll notice that right here, there's no oils, right? There's no oils listed there because this is going to bring a little bit of an insulin release. We don't want to give it any fat, because remember last night I told you that fat lipids are running around in our body with a little bit of fat. Even though that MCT oil burns up like that, that's actually your best one if you were going to do this. But coconut oil is 60% MCT, but 40% LCTs. And so you just don't want to, this will be slowing it down. It'll be slowing it down if you add fat to this. So we can have, let's say we have some turkey breast and we had some okra and then we had some lima beans. About a quarter of a cup is what I would do, and maybe do a half a cup of that okra and then do about 6 ounces of that lean protein. Make sure it all fits underneath your hands and you've got a 1 + 2 + 3 perfectly combined meal. Now, even though this doesn't have the flames here, it is still a fast fat burning combination because it's going to be very different than what you're currently doing if you're currently not doing Shibboleth combined meals. All right, we're going to scroll down a little bit more and see this. This is the one that changed right here, our fruit. Okay, now fruit can be used as a snack in weight loss. Previously, we said that it was a freebie in weight loss. If you are coming back to this program and you heard that before, in maintenance, fruit can be used as a snack. So it could be eaten by itself, but only in maintenance, okay? But it's not a freebie in maintenance. But in weight loss, we just have to treat fruit a little bit differently. So let's say we want to eat one of these items here: berries, apple, orange, grapefruit, plums, grapes, bananas, peaches, pineapple, kiwi. So let's say we want to eat one of those. We have to pair it. It's a must. We must pair it with a 1 and a 2. So a lot of times people want to eat fruit at breakfast. So let's say we're going to eat a cup of blueberries at breakfast. So you can have up to a cup of blueberries, but make sure that you eat it with, let's just say, egg whites, and maybe you put an egg white spinach omelet, and then you have enough of the lean protein, enough of the fibrous carb to negate the insulin release that's going to come from the sugar in the category 5. But if you are going to do a fruit, all your berries are lower on the glycemic index. They're not going to bring as much of an insulin release. So those would be some of your good ones. And then obviously you can still use your condiments. So now, any questions? Any questions about any of those? If so, please ask it, and we're going to move on to a few other things that you can have. And I hope that what you're hearing today is, well, let me just say this. Don't complicate the program. It's not complicated at all. You just figure out the foods that you like in those categories, and then you just combine them. And then you follow the shibboleth shield. It's not hard. Okay, so let's look at category 2 breads. This is a hallelujah moment. We do not exclude any macronutrients. Any program that excludes any macronutrients is not something that you are going to keep up with for the rest of your life. And in order to maintain weight or lose weight or maintain weight, or you just don't want to gain weight as you get older, you've got to be able to sustain what you're doing. That's why Shibboleth is so awesome, is it is sustainable. But there are over 60 approved breads in the category 2 fibrous carb category. Obviously, your vegetables are a better choice. But you know what? There are people that refuse to eat vegetables. If they refuse to eat vegetables, they need to go to a category 2 bread to get in a category 2 when they need it. So let's say that somebody absolutely hates anything that has to do with vegetables, and they wanted to eat that fruit. Then they could have their egg whites, but they maybe could have a Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffin. That's in the category 2 fibrous carb category. It's a perfectly combined meal doing it that way. So let's just read over a few of the choices. We have La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Brand Crisp bread, Healthy Life hot dog buns, and Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. That's just a small list. I would personally go into that food library, into category 2, and just look up all the breads that are in there and figure out which ones you like. Now, I always use the Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, but I recently went to an event where we took Shibby approved appetizers, and somebody had used some flat out bread. So I liked the appetizer, so I went the next day and bought some flat out bread. I wish that I had looked at the calories on the flat out bread. There's 100 calories in the flat out bread. There's only 50 in those two tortillas listed there. That's a better deal because you're still getting the same amount of food, but there's fewer calories. So I probably won't buy that flat out again. Unless I specifically wanted to make that little meal that she was doing, but I wouldn't buy it to have my regular meals. And the reason we did those Shibby approved appetizers is because, you know, Christmas is coming up. We have a lot of holiday parties, things like that. So when we have those parties, if we take something that's Shibboleth approved that we love to eat, the $1 Million Dip was delicious, by the way. That when we know we have something we can eat while we're there and we are eating with everybody else, but we're not bringing the fat bus doing it. So let's look at our approved sweeteners. Our approved sweeteners, just a few of them: stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. Now, I'm going to answer the question right here about Splenda. Some people don't want to do artificial sweeteners. We do not promote artificial sweeteners. We meet everybody on this program where they are in their journey, and that's what's so awesome about this program. You can do it from eating Hormel turkey spam if you want to Splenda, and guess what? You're still going to lose weight doing it. But then you might want to go, I don't really want to have artificial sweeteners and quit doing that. But if you don't mind them, they're approved on the program. But it's not that we promote them. We're meeting every single individual exactly where they are in their wellness and weight loss journey, which I think is another awesome thing about Shibboleth. Because we don't just say, don't have any of this, because sometimes that's hard to do. All right, approved beverages. Water, obviously, we need to get in at least 64 ounces to have an approved perfect day, but our goal is a gallon. And if you're getting a gallon of water in a day, you are not hungry. I'm telling you that. You're not hungry. So you can have any 0-calorie beverage of any type, unsweet or approved tea, coffee, but only with approved sweeteners, but none of that takes the place of your water. It would be in addition to your water. Let's look over here. Cheese, it says condiment up to 100 calories. That is a typo. We cannot have more than 50 calories used as a condiment on any meal. So let's just read some of these. Fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, which I find is very, very good. I buy it at Ingles if you happen to have an Ingles near you. If you don't, Borden's probably sold at a lot of other places, but it tastes better to me than the Kraft fat-free. Cabot extra light cheese. I love the Cabot extra light cheese. Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, Lifetime fat-free cheese. Travis really likes this Lifetime fat-free cheese. And then lean protein milk, 8 to 16 ounces. Fat-free Fairlife milk, Kroger Carb Master milk, or hemp milk. There are some other approved milks, but this is for, beginning, just to start off and get you going through the first week so that hopefully you could see that you can have a perfect day tomorrow. And then we've got some breadings, lightly breaded, your coconut flour, Carb Quick, TVP, and almond flour. So all of those can be used as breading. So I find now that instead of using flour to bread some chicken that we used to cook in flour and in butter, now we do MCT oil with the Carb Quick, dusting and coating the chicken, and we bake it in the oven 7 minutes on each side, and so it's 14 minutes total. That stuff is delicious, and I actually think I like it better than what I was doing before. And the other thing about Carb Quick is you can make pancakes with it, you can make biscuits with it, and it is a category 2 fibrous carb, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. And then here's some cereals that you could do up into your first week. There's more cereals on the program, but these would be best for weight loss. Kashi Go Lean Original, Kay's Natural Cereal, High-Low Nutritious Living. And we got some more condiments listed there. I'm not going to go over theirs again. And then let's look at restaurants, because here is another reason that there is no excuse not to have a perfect day. No excuse. Because if you are driving home and you are thinking, I have no food at home, I have had a stressful day, I just need to get something to eat. Run by Chick-fil-A, run by Wendy's, run by McDonald's, run by Culver's or Dairy Queen or whatever. Go by one of those places, but utilize your restaurant guide and order it in a Shibboleth approved way. So, because I think eating at Chick-fil-A is the best thing ever, I would just run by Chick-fil-A and get my food and enjoy it. Now, what I do at Chick-fil-A, I know the way I order now. I go in, I said I want a number one instead of fries. Instead of fries, I want my side salad, light Italian dressing, and I get the lemonade, one diet lemonade, because I don't know why their lemonade is not 0 calorie, because it's using Splenda, but it may just be something else they do. It's 50 calories, and so I use that as an extra for the day. Now, that number one that I said I ordered, it is the fried Chick-fil-A filet, but I don't use the bun, obviously, and I just eat that. So I could order nuggets. If I want the fried nuggets, I can get 8 of them, but if I am willing to give up the fried nuggets to get 4 extra nuggets, I do grilled. But I prefer fried, so I'm willing to give up those 4 nuggets to have my fried nuggets. And obviously you can have grilled chicken there too. Mexican restaurant, you have a bowl of chicken soup, no rice, 3 soft chicken tacos, but use your own tortilla. This is called having your survival kit. So there is a gentleman named Tim that comes to our class on Monday nights, and he carries his tortilla with him everywhere he goes, because he says, I never know where I'm going to end up for lunch, and if I want to eat it with my burger, I know I can. If I end up at Mexican, I got my tortilla with me. So these are kind of things you just do to be prepared for a perfect day. At McDonald's, you can have a 1/4 pounder, but use your own bread. Wendy's, a small chili over a side salad. And I'm not going to continue reading those because you can see them, and I'm going to send you this in the group in just a minute. But what I want you to do is I want you to go to the restaurant guide, and I want you to go to the restaurants that you frequent the most often, and then look at what the options are there, open it up, read how to order it. You want to know how to order these things so that you're not in line with the pressure of people behind you trying to figure out what to order. You want to know already how to order. So kind of do a little homework with that and know what you can start ordering at restaurants. And if you do feel that pressure, get out of the line, go to the back of the line so that you can get the right thing. Don't let people push you into not knowing what to order and just throw up your hands and order a burger and fries or chicken nuggets and fries. So just do the pre-work. Anybody have any questions? I hope y'all are getting a good grasp. I mean, last night we did the overview webinar, and then this morning you had an assignment in the Facebook group for you to do. And that assignment is basically to watch some of Travis's original daily doses, because they're so good. And then it's walking you through all of the tabs. That's what each daily assignment is going to do. It's going to walk you through the tabs on the website so that you can become familiar with all of that. So I hope that y'all are learning a lot. But otherwise, our webinar tonight's over unless you guys have any questions. Melanie, there is a separate, okay, Melanie, we have a group called Shibboleth New Member Fast Track. If you're not in that group, you can join that group, Shibboleth New Member Fast Track, and you'll get my daily assignments. You're welcome. Now, while we're here tonight, is there anything that y'all want to see on the website? While I'm here, because I love, oh good, thank you, Belinda, that's awesome. I love our website. Our website is phenomenal. And so what I did, can y'all still see my screen? What I did was I came to this page here, because this is where you're going to be watching the daily doses this week. And like I said, these daily doses are really short. If you are coming back to Shibboleth, you really need to rewatch these daily doses. Pretend that you never learned it before and start fresh. You got to start fresh. But I want to click right here on the Shibboleth Advanced Combination Chart. Can y'all see that? Good. Okay. So this right here are 3 columns of combinations of food. So we just went over some good ones for week 1, okay? But this is good for any time, and you can use it week 1 or whatever. But see these fast combinations in the blue column? I like to call those more lifestyle, because that's when you get to maintenance. You pull back in a little bit more fruit, because fruit's good for you. Pull back in maybe an energy carb, that kind of thing. But if you do these in weight loss, you're still going to lose weight, and you'll lose it faster than what's happening now, because right now you're not doing any of this if you are just joining Shibboleth or getting started back. So these are still fast weight loss combinations, okay? But if you really want to lose weight, stick in these 2 to start. And then what I did on July 4th this year, I didn't want to have a holiday. I did one of the blue column categories, and I added a snack and an extra. I felt like I had a holiday, but I did not come out of EFB. And you have to strategize in that way. Yeah, so maintenance is based on your own goals. What I would do is I would look up and see where your range is. So, okay, so let me get back to that question, Candace. Let's look at this real quick. If we come here and go to our profile, and then go to assess, go to ideal weight. See right down there, ideal weight. So I'm 49, I'm 68 inches, and I'm a female, and my weight in pounds this morning was that. So I'm going to hit send. So right here it tells me, greetings. Thank you for using myshibboleth.com website to determine your ideal weight. Based on the information you entered, your ideal weight range is between 138 and 158. And so it says that this is a range. Well, I don't know if you remember me yesterday saying all I was trying to do was get to 150. I did that, and I lost 35.5 pounds to get to that in 3 months. I lost 15 more pounds in maintenance to get to 135. So I'm actually a little bit below my ideal weight, but it's fine. So you might want to utilize this to figure out, use that to figure out where you want to be. And then once you hit your, you can put that into your profile. Once you put that into your profile, you can use, I'm going to show you. Hopefully y'all did that this morning because that was the assignment this morning. But go in here to the profile, click edit, and right here where it says goal weight, see, I never did go back and change my goal weight from my original one. It was 150. Once you hit your goal weight, you're going to get this badge right here, this victory badge. Once you've hit that victory badge, if you want to go back into your profile right here and see where it says mode, it says maintenance right there. There's only 2 modes, either weight loss or maintenance. You can change that to maintenance right there, and you would be able to have up to 12 holidays if you choose to have them in a month. So it's based on your own goals. And then based on your own goals, but after checking out your resources that you have. Because I didn't have a clue as to what I should put as my weight. I just thought 150 sounded dreamy to me. So I put in 150. It turns out I could be 135 easily. I said, okay, I'll take it. I don't know where MCT oil is located in Walmart. I don't know. Does anybody else know that? Because you can type it here for everybody to see. And if y'all want everybody to see what your question you're asking, you have to click all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, I'm the only one that sees it. Okay, Belinda says in the baking section. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about MCT oil. I highly recommend, if you can and will, purchase it from the Shibboleth store. This is the one that Travis thinks is the best. And honestly, I don't question Travis. Travis lost 100 pounds 20 years ago. He has come up with this phenomenal program. I don't question him. If he says use zero drag MCT oil, that's what I do. The other thing I try to do is I try to support the Shibboleth ministry. And you know how little they charge, okay? They charge so little. I don't even see how they stay in business, honestly. And there's about $17,000 a week in expenses. How do they even do that on $50? I have no idea. And then they've just offered this lifetime thing. So please, 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 if you can, please support the Shibboleth stores or the online store, because definitely we need it. We need it to be supported in that way. And when you're looking at MCT oil that's not in the food library, it just needs to make sure that it says 100% MCT oil. It can't say like brain octane with MCT oil. No, it's got to say 100% MCT oil. That's the only one that would count. What else was I going to show y'all while I was here? Was there anything else anybody wants to see while we're here? That might be it, but just if you haven't found the food library yet, you want to make sure you go there to resources, recipes, and videos and click on that food library. And that's where I was talking about going through and making lists of food that you like. But otherwise, you're going to get your daily assignment each morning, and I certainly do hope that you are getting them done and that you can take the test, pass the test, and earn your first badge at the end of this week. But y'all reach out to us. Let us know if you have any questions. We're here for you, and we just want you to have, I want you to have a perfect day tomorrow. When I ended my class tonight, the question I asked them was this: do you have any excuse as to why you could not have a perfect day tomorrow? And I let them all say that. Oops, Melanie, I'm sorry you lost the feed. It is recorded and will be in the group in just a few minutes. But I just want you to think through that for yourself. Good, I'm glad you're back. I want you to think through that for yourself. Is there any excuse, because it's an excuse, is there any excuse why you could not have a perfect day tomorrow? Awesome. I love that, Sandy. Thank you for telling me you're having a perfect day tomorrow. You can have a perfect day tomorrow, and then if it's your first perfect day, you'll need one more perfect day, and then on your third perfect day, you'll be in EFB. then string those days together. Figure out the meals on Shibboleth that you love, that make you happy to go to, and eat them. You'll never even realize that you are doing, well, it's not a diet, but you never realize that you're doing some type of lifestyle to lose or maintain weight if you're truly enjoying what you're doing. But I'm having a perfect day tomorrow as well. Well, I'm going to tell y'all good night, and I'll say see you in the funny papers. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Sandy. I hope y'all have a great evening and a perfect day tomorrow. Awesome, Melanie. I'm glad to hear that.